It's working on Instagram. Phenomenal stuff. All right. We're back. I think we're back. But we have no viewers yet. Okay, we had technical nightmares, but now it's fine. Now it is fine. I think it should be going live again. I don't know if it's still working on YouTube. I don't know if it's still working on YouTube, but I don't think it is still working on YouTube. It says it's streaming. Great. I'm just going to assume we're streaming. Oh, I haven't clicked go live. Ha! You got to click go live on Instagram. There we go. Okay. This is probably the most self-indulgent thing I've ever done, but I think that's okay. Welcome. Hope everybody had a lovely Happy New Year. Lovely Christmas. Not Happy New Year. We haven't done the Happy New Year yet. I'm also sorry for the old people on Instagram because it's very much not portrait. It's very much going to be exclusively landscape, which is obviously frustrating. And I can't change the orientation. I can do stuff like this is fun. I can spotlight that. I can change the thing. You know, I can move my face around. I've got a hat on. I'm too hot. Hello people. Hello friends. Thank you for joining. I don't know if it's working on YouTube, guys. But look, if you're still using YouTube, thanks. I was gonna be rude, but thank you. Hey, okay, it's on YouTube. It's working everywhere. So the idea, incredibly self-indulgently, is that I'm going to watch through all the videos that I made. Hi, Dosa Cat. How are you? Hi, Zoe. I feel like a real internet person. My talent knows no boundaries. Dosa, you're lovely, but it knows some boundaries because we're going to see how much I can tolerate watching myself back, which is usually pretty high. I have pretty high tolerance for myself. If you're looking for the link, someone's asking there for the link for YouTube. Can I have the link? Is that the link? I'm sort of good with tech usually, but apparently the YouTube account, that should take you. If that doesn't work, here we go. YouTube.com. WCBag. Doesn't even know his own fucking YouTube name. WSEBAG. It's same as this, and then I think it's YouTube/Monty Python. MONTE Python. Like Monty, you know, like Monty Python, but with Monty, like Montefiore. It's clever stuff, undeniably. So we're going to watch back all the videos I made this year. If you have any questions about the videos I've made, chuck them in the chat, and it will be. I'll talk about the jokes I wrote, the videos I filmed, and how I feel about them, and we'll try and just ignore the fact that that's unbelievably self-indulgent. We should be. I think we're going to be live for about an hour, guys. So I'm going to turn the chill hop off, and I think we're going to get started because otherwise we'll be here forever. So I need to click into the next scene. We're going to watch. We're going to watch some of my videos. So we'll watch them in chronological order. You may have seen them. You may have not seen them. But yeah, here we go. If there's any issues with the sound or anything, just pop it in the comments. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Oh, I should probably have the chat up. Mad Dog found YouTube. Don't worry, everybody. Welcome, Mad Dog, to YouTube. It's a lovely place, full of wonder and far-right, horrible people. Okay. I'm about to separate the videos into two. Nobody cares.
But I'm thinking it's time to grow.
We are in the trenches. Sir, yes, sir. Just a quick question. When you say fight, do you...
So this is, I'm going to interrupt myself already. This is the, when Boris Johnson, remember when Boris Johnson this year was in charge? That seems like a while ago. They were going to bring back conscription and Boris was happy to fight on the front line. So I thought, hey, let's imagine, well, but you see where the comedy came from there. And I did my absolutely 5 out of 10.
Do you mean hide in the fridge? Oh no, Jenkins has been shot. Well, that's fine, Jenkins, we can sort that out. Has anybody got a hairdryer? If you blow a hairdryer on the wound, it will cure it. War. What is it good for? Lots and lots of money. Nothing, I mean, nothing, absolutely nothing. Listen, boys, I know this is quite ironic, but I would quite like to leave. Over the top? Yes, I know I am. Oh, right, no, okay, right. Before we go, just so you know, boys, what I tended to do in my past job was to put the vulnerable in front of me, to act as a sort of shield in order to make my life more comfortable. That's why I'm currently sitting on my privates, if you know what I mean. My colleagues, yeah. Well done, boys.
That's the best joke I've ever written. Sitting on my privates. Also, briefly to interrupt, Fergus Carver just joined, who is my technician in Edinburgh, and is
sterling work. Do you know what, boys, would really improve this trench? Would be a little bridge with a garden on it. You know, I think that's a good idea. Now, I know we are being shot at by the enemy, but does anybody fancy a glass of wine? Little work party, no? Oh, sorry. Ooh, there was a message that we were supposed to attack. Sorry, I've lost my walkie-talkie. Yeah, I will join in with the boys attacking and dying up there. I'm just writing a letter to my sweetheart. Well, one of them. Yeah, writing a letter. Yes, no, I can't do email because, according to Nadine, she doesn't know what the internet is. I think this war actually might be nature's way of dealing with young people. You want us to lie down so we avoid all the bullets. Yes, no, very good. No, I'm great at lying. I did it to an entire country.
That's good stuff, innit? That's good stuff. Dulce et decorum est mentori toti put. I think that means something really clever. I think I googled something. Let's find out what that means. I never did Latin. I don't know what it means. Dulce et decorum is obviously a little joke, isn't it? He's done a little Latin joke. Mentiri toti patrii. Latin translation. Here we go. Don't worry, guys. I'm finding it. No, Swedish to Latin. No, Latin to English, you nerd. Why does it think I'm Swedish, guys? It was sweet and proper to lie to the whole country. Not very funny, but quite like quite sort of like pat yourself on the back, sort of that joke, isn't it? Zoe has asked if I have to practice the voices a lot. Thanks for coming, Zoe. I'm not really an impressionist, and I would love to say that I practice the voices a lot, but mainly I just do the voices when I'm asked to do Non-Censored, which is Rosie Holt's podcast, and I basically have like 4 voices I can do: Jordan Peterson, Keir Starmer a bit, Boris Johnson a bit, and Lee Anderson, and I think all of them will make an appearance here. This whole thing is just reminding me how easy we had it with Partygate. It was so much easier to do satire on the internet when Partygate was happening, and it's interesting for me watching this back to sort of think about. Oh, shut up! I'm bored of myself already. This next video is when Piers Morgan had Rishi Sunak on his show and bet him $1,000 that he wouldn't have the planes in the sky going to Rwanda. The Rwanda scheme. It was a policy, but I think it was a bad idea. So this was my interview.
No, don't look at the camera. Just
a little parody of that.
Never mind. Are you a betting man?
No.
Isn't a hedge fund basically gambling?
I mean, yes.
What do you think's like a normal amount for a bet between friends?
About 35k.
I bet that you could pay doctors more.
I'm not interested in that.
I bet you $1,000 that you're so out of touch you get basic idioms wrong.
Done.
Is it hard being Prime Minister?
Well, you obviously have to have
thick,
tough skin to do this.
My favourite bit about that is him. You can see it in his eyes that he realises he's said the word tough and was going into the word skin and knew it was
and
wrong.
What we want is you to tell us about music. Who's your favourite modern band?
Desperate Straits.
Favourite UK-based band?
U2.
0 for 2. Can you sing The Room Where It Happened from Hamilton?
Building with all the things that happened in all the rooms.
Any Kate Bush?
I spent a lot of time on the hill.
Do you have a message for people who are living in poverty? You really tongued the glass there, didn't you? Have you got any advice for normal people on what they should be doing during the cost of living crisis?
Shouldering the entire burden themselves.
Do you think people like you?
I think people trust that I know what I'm doing when it comes to the economy.
Well, I think that they trust that you know what you're doing with your own personal economy. You have so much money. Do you think that normal people are actually human beings?
Yes.
So the Rwanda plan's not working. Whose fault do you think that is?
Keir Starmer and the Labour Party.
Why don't you just stop it?
I want to get the people on the plane.
Well, you did call them people there, so that's progress. What's the most surprising thing being Prime Minister when you're making all these huge decisions that affect people's lives?
You sleep well at night.
And finally, general election?
The choice of that election is what matters.
Mm-hmm.
And the choice, I think, is becoming increasingly clear.
Me too, buddy. Me f***ing too.
So you'll probably notice with these videos that often the ending, if I can't think of a joke, I'll try and say something serious. And sometimes I think that lands, and other times I think it gives me the ick a little bit. I also was experimenting there and started, because I always beep out the swear words because I think it like helps with the algorithm. But I was like, oh, I'll use sounds from the video. So the little beep out of the swear word there is the Kate Bush song that he does earlier, which I think is interesting and cool. Most people think probably quite boring. On to the next video. This is when I think, who was it? I've written it down because I don't really actually know much about politics. Oh yeah, wait, we're on 302. Where's the other thing I was going to say is that background, the little what's the word, logo in the top right says Will Sebag-Montefiore Censorless exclusive. I've called it Censorless to sort of make fun of Piers Morgan, like uncensored or whatever it is, and also as a nod to Rosie Holt's podcast, Non-Censored. Mainly it's just to hide the watermark because I stole the footage, so that's why that's there. Oh, can we find 302? I don't know if we can, so we're just going to have to jump straight into the next one, which is when, is it Laura Trott? No. Yes, Laura Trott. So the next video, Laura Trott, Chief Secretary to the Treasury, couldn't answer a question about debt. Evan Davies and her were having a little discussion about debt, and she had basically figures that showed debt was going down and then going up, and he was like, nah, it's going up and going down. I don't fully remember the details of it, because what I do is I make these videos, immediately forget the context, and then carry on. So it was about all the figures were wrong and different. She was on the show, the Today program. So then I made it look like I was on the Today program.
What is puzzling me
Is it Sudoku? Because they are hard.
is how you can be even
Okay, that's not even a joke, because
talking about tax cuts
Well, how can you be asking me about cuts when you've got a hole in your jumper?
when a central pledge is getting debt down
Pledge is a cleaning product.
and debt is going up.
You say it.
some of this is me just being like not pretending to be stupid, but actually just being like, I don't know how to write a
Have you
joke about
considered that it might actually
this.
go
I'll just say
down?
pledge.
No, it's higher in 5 years than now.
But 5 years from now is not now. Now is in fact now, and indeed the time at which I'm saying it's lower.
It's lower in the 5th year relative to the 4th year.
And there you go. Thanks for having me, Evan.
So it goes down at the end of the projection.
So you do admit that it's gone down. And we have actually never said what the down is relative to. And I know that sounds complicated because I use the word relative, but it makes a lot of sense to me.
But in 5 years,
Time. Sorry.
I think it's higher at the end of the project. Yeah, 23.4, 89% of GDP. 28.9, it's 93% of GDP.
Oh, I'm sorry, but when somebody says a lot of numbers like you just did, I sort of completely zone out. I'm also not really sure I know what GDP is.
Debt goes up.
Is it Great British pounds?
It falls at the end of 5 years a little
Evan,
bit.
I was given my numbers by my special advisors. I don't know what numbers you're looking at, but could we please use mine because they make me look a lot better, thank you.
Debt is going up. It's higher. It's higher in 5 years than now.
Are you confused because debt is usually a minus number, like a low one? These ones seem like high numbers, because that really confused me too.
Public sector net debt ex Bank of England.
Well, there you go. You've got to include the Bank of England, even though that's in practice not what we do, nor how we measure it. You've got to do it. If you include the Bank of England, the numbers change, and it feels way better.
I'm amazed that you don't know that debt is rising.
And then falling again. There's an example of BBC bias for you.
Interesting conversation. We should probably both go and look at the books.
I've never looked at a book, not going to start now.
Really interesting point about whether debt is going up or going down on your watch.
I'm not even wearing a watch. You call this journalism? Embarrassing. I'm off to GB News to be interviewed by my colleagues. Good day.
Well, good evening.
Speaking of GB News, I suppose that's the. I don't really have much to say about that one, but I did do it. I think something that I find interesting is I screen recorded that, and the frame rate was a bit goosed, so you got little like pixelation on the videos, and I did not know how to fix it. In this next clip. This is when Rishi did GB News, a People's Forum, and it's really poorly filmed. And I think it was, I think Ofcom actually fined them in the end. And I got accused of stealing Michael Spicer's shtick here because I was like, commenting on it, but it was like the director's commentary rather than being in a room next door. So I don't think it was necessarily a founded criticism, but look. It's fine. Thanks for joining, everybody, by the way. If you're here on Instagram or YouTube, if you have any questions or comments or thoughts or internet hatred, just pop them in the comments and I'll respond to them. This is the GB News Rishi Sunak
Okay, everybody,
forum
we are
thing,
live.
me
Now,
directing.
let's make sure this camera angle remains on Rishi's back. We want to keep that mic pack in shot the entire time. The problem is if you get his face and his eyes in the shot, people are going to know that he's lying, so just stay on the back. Yeah, we're moving, it's nice, we're moving, we're staying on the back. That's great, because he might get stabbed in the back. We got to keep an eye on that back. Make sure we get those 2 empty seats in. Yeah, I think they were reviewers, but I'm not sure if they're going to make it. The briefing was for Rishi never to look in the camera. We want to keep him as far away from the lens as possible, and we want to just keep sweeping around the room for no reason. Who put the jug of water there? Because that's genius. People talking a lot about how there's sewage in the water. That's clean water. This is great stuff. Keep that water in shot. Because this has never happened before, this is unprecedented. We want to do it in a way that's unprecedented. People are going to be like, wow, I have never seen news footage covered like that. If we stay behind him this whole time, no one's going to make one of those horrible little fake interview videos that people seem to do nowadays. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a
the
little
ones they copy from
self-referential,
Roku
isn't it?
Okay,
Oh dear.
now, cut to a normal shot. There you go, cut away. Show them what we can do, show them we understand how to compose a shot, then disappear. Whoever kept his mic pack on show, you're promoted. This is going to make us seem like a serious news channel the way we've shot this. I think in this particular case, the production value is directly proportionate to the quality of the content. Cut to him from the front again, just for a second. And move away, move away. Let's get away from that.
The shots that were actually nice shots were so short. They were so short. I also remember filming this at like 1 or 2 in the morning. It was very, very late when I filmed this. And sometimes you do that, you're like, oh, I've got to get this video out.
In fact, the way this is shot,
So,
I
well
think
done,
people
mate.
will find it hard to believe that this has news in the title. Well, I cannot wait to put that footage in my show reel. Rishi's back, which is, ironically, the opposite of what's going to happen this year.
How could I have foreseen the Tories were going to lose that election? Oh, what an insider. They should put me on Politics Joe. So this next one is Lee Anderson walking to Parliament. Because I don't know if you've seen Lee Anderson making these videos. He's often walking to Parliament. He's very proud that he's walking to Parliament. And he winds me up a lot, does Lee. And I think I was on my way to pretend to be Lee Anderson at a non-censored live show. I was walking through the park and saw him having done a video himself, so chucked in my own version of it. It's nice when politicians just walk and do something simple, and I can make fun of them by just walking and filming myself. That's much easier. If you're just joining us, hello everybody. I'm watching every video that I made this year, so we're currently on the 15th of March, and Lee Anderson is about to walk to Parliament, and I think he might have a couple of things to say, ironically, with the
Hi,
meaning.
Lee Anderson here.
Oh, comedy.
Just walking to Parliament right now. I'm a member of Parliament for Ashfield, member of the Labour Party, Conservative Reform Party, sorry. So
This was just when Lee Anderson had defected. I was going to say deferred, but it wasn't like a UCAS situation.
I'm way now. It's raining. Well, I thought it was a climate crisis. Why is it raining? It's not called global wetting, is it? So 1-0. I just wanted to say that thank you to everyone who's come with me, joined Reform. It's great if you want your country back, like I do. Join Reform. I think the best way to get our country back is to keep me relevant the whole time. As long as I'm relevant, that's all right. I'm not going to say who I want the country back from, but I think it's pretty clear. I forgot my dog whistle on my walk today, so I'll just do it, with my words. And yeah, so keep in touch with me, keep emailing me positive things. I only look at the positive ones. And yeah, for the Lib Dems, if you're looking, I'm open to offers. Okay, thanks, I suppose.
So I called...
That's Lee Anderson. Lee Anderson walking to Parliament. That was Lee Anderson often does something where he talks about people coming up to him in pubs and buying him pints and saying thanks for sorting out the country. And I have a suspicion it doesn't happen as much as he says it does, but he often says it does. This next one is an interesting one, right? So this next one is when Joey Barton was suing Jeremy Vine. And I say it's interesting, and I may have used the word interesting inappropriately there, but it's definitely something that happened. So after I made that one earlier, if you just joined, you won't have seen it, but earlier there was one where it was the Rishi Sunak's People's Forum on GB News, which broke Ofcom rules. And basically after I made that, Joey Barton followed me on Twitter. If you don't know who Joey Barton is, he's an ex-footballer who his main thing is, I would say, misogyny. He doesn't like women commentating on football, and he's a big conspiracy theorist and a silly little boy, I would say. He called Jeremy Vine a bike nonce, which is it's a funny thing to say because it's so anyway incongruous. Whatever. He started following me. So this was a genuine thing that I was like, oh, what would be? I could actually try and create some controversy by weighing in on that sort of a conversation, and doing an impression of Joey Barton. Zoe, you asked earlier about how much I had to practice the voices. I cannot sustain a Scouse accent for more than each of these individual clips that I cut together. So tricky. But yeah, I think Jeremy Vine puts far more effort into all his videos of him cycling around London than I have ever put into a video. So if you're just joining now, this is when Joey Barton
Jeremy Vine bike nonce, and that's very funny. It implies that he has an unnatural fascination with young bikes, so like tricycles or those little pushy ones with no pedals. So he's taking me to court, and as I'm a millionaire, the way that I'm going to pay for this is with your money. And if that upsets you, don't take it up with me. Don't take it up with Jeremy. Take it up with vaccinated women. They're the problem. Would he have had the confidence to sue me if we didn't live in a world where women are put in positions of power that they don't deserve? I've said it before, if a woman has not played men's football, she shouldn't be allowed to be a commentator. Anyway, back to me, a man with zero scientific or medical expertise talking about vaccines. I think they're bad. I do. I think they're really bad. At the end of the day, at the start of the day, at any time in the day, I think they're bad. Anyway, I know we're living in a cost of living crisis and money's tight and it doesn't affect millionaires as much, but give us some cash, yeah? That'd be amazing. And remember, life is all about the grift. Graft. I meant graft. Hello.
Take that, Joey. That'll show him. I think the thing that wound me up when I made that video, the thing that made me be like, I'm going to make that, is because he was asking people to donate to him to support the him being sued. Sort of think that's a bit ridiculous, actually. This next one, I really hate that I keep saying this next one, but I don't know of a better phrase. This is when James Cleverly spent 165,000. Well, not personally, but there was a £165,000 flight to Rwanda. For him to go and sort the Rwanda deal, to sign a deportation deal or something. And I was in Farringdon Station in London. I was like, it's time to make a video.
Hello, everybody. I know I look like one of those liberal left idiots because of the hat, and I look like I haven't eaten meat in about 16 years, but I just wanted to update you because it's very exciting news.
Sorry, both of them.
As Rishi promised, we have got someone on the plane to Rwanda. Someone has gone. So this is great news, very exciting. It was James Cleverly, he came back. So yeah, someone has been sent to Rwanda. Obviously, he then came back and he was only there for a PR mission, sign a little paper. But fundamentally, we stuck to our pledge and we got someone on the plane. We were very keen to do that. And it only cost us £165,000. Now that may sound like a lot, but it's under 1% of the budget of what it's cost us to do the Rwanda scheme anyway, so very cheap if you think about it in that way. So this is very exciting, and I'm looking forward to maybe going on a trip there myself, being one of the people on the plane. That'll be nice, won't it? I'm sure it'll be nice. Anyway, so that's great news. Lovely stuff. Stop the boats, get on the planes.
Oh, this next one is I got over excited there. Is the one about the cross, the flag. So I don't know if you remember when the Euros was happening. The Euros, for those of you who don't know, that's a football event. You're welcome. And Nike redesigned all the flags on the back of the collar. So they made the England St George's cross a little cross with pink and nice colours. And people didn't like it. They got angry. Little fake sort of inflated culture war. So I went on Sky News, was it?
Flag that they've done in different colours.
No, it is nonsense, and it has made me cross. I mean, this flag, the woke don't
Cross.
get it. It
Get it?
represents pride in our identity. And that's something that the LGBTQ plus community just wouldn't be able to understand. I know a lot about flags, okay? I was once described as a walking red one. Flags are very, very important, and I may have said the exact opposite before about other flags, but this is our flag. If we're watching the England game, how are we going to know which team to be supporting if we can't see that small cross on their back and recognise the flag? I mean, all of the players are foreign. Nike is a Greek goddess, which is pronounced Nike, so why are we letting Greek people decide what the English flag is? What's next, a big pussycat instead of the Welsh dragon? A Union Jill? A flag for Ireland? It's just gone too far. I'm cross about this. You should be cross about it. The people at home should be cross about this. Not about the growing wealth gap, not about the cost of living crisis, not about the crumbling NHS, but this small bit of shirt decoration. This flag, I believe, across the world, people would agree, it represents peace and love. So why change that? Now it's just a plus sign. What is this, an Ed Sheeran album? No, this is a really sad day for football and for England and for the English people, and I would really appeal to Nike, and I'd say to them, why? Why didn't you ask the English people? Why did you just do it?
What an ending! What a 10 out of 10 ending there. That's the I believe that is the slogan for Adidas. This next one is Nigel Farage's birthday. Nigel Farage had a birthday party this year. He's had one every year apparently. And the one thing that I would say about this, a bit of trivia, is the background of that image is actually the pub in which he had his birthday. It's called like Boysdale's or something in Canary Wharf. And that's a bit of commitment that I suppose I'm committed to when there is a video and I can find the actual background that the video would have been made in if it was real. I like putting that in, but nobody ever notices or gives a shit about it. But
First of all, I know that the ice sculpture is melting. And even though the scientific evidence is melting and the room is physically getting hotter, we can all feel it. We're not allowed to mention it, all right? We just can't talk about it. It's not real. Yeah, this is the most demeaning job I've ever had, and I worked at the Willy Wonka experience, so... Sorry? Nigel said that if you left and you came back in, things would be better. No. Policy is we can't let you back in, sorry, mate. Look, we've all been lied to about what leave means. Guys, can we just make sure that nobody mentions that the staff are mostly foreign? That'd be great. So obviously I'm from Belgium, but I'm doing an accent. Just makes it easier for everyone, doesn't it? Right, don't look, guys, be cool. But over there, that guy, allegedly, is the Brewdog CEO. At Nigel Farage's party, that is punk. I mean, I've never been to a punk concert, but when you think of punk, this is what you think of, isn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny Rotten's here. I mean, he's punk. You can't deny that, can you? Pint of red, blue and white gin? Certainly. Pint of champagne, sir? Certainly. Pint of piss, sir? Certainly. Has he put food on for staff? What is it? Mackerel and sewage water? Right, well, fair play. At least he's serving British food. That's nice. Hello? Sorry? 10 years to save the West. Oh, what? From today, or you don't know? Okay. Now, I know that a slow, comfortable screw against the wall is technically a cocktail, but when you say it, feels creepy. Okay, so Donald Trump is on a video link. That's fun. Yeah, maybe start spitting in the glasses. Yeah, maybe start. Right, everybody, drinks orders. Liz Truss wants something short, intense, and incredibly bad for you. Lee Anderson would like something rich and bitter. Holly Valance would like something that was popular in the noughties, but is now widely considered to be a shit drink. Nick Candy wants some sweets, but he won't be paying for them. The Brewdog guy wants a can of his new beer, which is called Cancel Culture. And Nigel would like a glass of champagne, but he'd like to pay a lot more for it than he used to, and he'd like it served in a pint glass. Because even though that makes it taste a lot worse, it makes it British!
There is a sort of a trope you'll see where, not knowing how to end a video, I'll chuck a bit of music on it and zoom in on something, and that was them doing what are they doing? The electric boogaloo, sitting down on the floor to a minor key version of God Save the King. And that last little run of jokes, and I use that term generously, just listing what kind of drinks politicians would have. That's the sort. I wish all my videos could just be like, if X people liked or ordered X thing, what would it be? It's just that's easy construction of jokes there. Oh, Matt Le Tissier is the next one. So Matt Le Tissier is another ex-footballer. Look, I understand that it's difficult for footballers to get a job after they finished in football. It's a really tricky thing to come out of. But like, why have so many of them started to go crazy? Basically, Matt Le Tissier said that implied. I don't know what you. I don't know legal stuff, but he alleged that the government controlled the weather in lockdown. I can't remember the exact tweet, but he was like, can't control the weather, can they? Remember in lockdown when it was so sunny? which I didn't quite understand, because I was like, if the government could control the weather and wanted people to stay inside, why wouldn't they have made it really horrible outside? Anyway, this is Matt Letitia was right. So this is the secret,
Incredibly secret meeting, everybody. As you all know, we're about to lock everybody in their homes, which is a fully...
Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Oh, God, he's so technically unsavvy right now. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Oh, God, I'm trying to... Oh, no. Pretend this didn't happen. Oh, that was terrible. All I was trying to do was say thank you for joining, those who just joined. And if you've got any questions or comments or hatred, then you pop it in the comments. I'm very good at restream, which is the other reason.
Thank you so much for coming to this incredibly secret meeting, everybody. As you all know, we're about to lock everybody in their homes, which is a fully orchestrated global plot and not a haphazard and panic response to a health crisis. First thing we're going to do, change the weather, because we can do that. Most of you might be expecting us to make the weather horrible so people want to stay inside their homes, but we're going to actually flip the script, double bluff, and make it really, really lovely. That way, no one will suspect a thing. Because there are one or two washed up ex-footballers who don't really understand data who started asking questions, so we need to keep them quiet. Joey and Matt, keep it down. They are both very clever and aren't missing the point at all. This is a really great start to our communist takeover, because you look at this cabinet, you think, commies! Hello, Comrade Rees-Mogg, looking well. Forcing everybody to stay in their homes is preparation for our greatest crime of all. 15-minute city. Which, as we all know, is...
So that is me just trying to emulate H-Bomber Guy, my favourite YouTuber. I think a lot of YouTubers using like punch-ins, pitch shifting, and colour changing to emphasise jokes. I think it's really fun, and I really like doing it. I
Not a planning approach to give people greater choice to access the things they need to live well. No, it's a sinister plot. This is all about control. We're going to control everybody by making them shop in certain places and watching them on CCTV or something. I'm not quite sure of the details. Hancock, Cummings, Johnson, Rob, Patel, Gove, Jabbit, Truss, Coffey. If you could all pretend to be rubbish at your jobs, that'd be really helpful. In fact, if we all could, we'll pretend that we're all incredibly incompetent when really we are running the entire flat Earth. Also, obviously, we'll pop a load of shit in the vaccine. Why not? Why not? I don't really understand vaccine science, but pretty sure there's some weird stuff in there. Yes, I think it's probably going to be quite easy for us to conduct a large-scale international hoax. I mean, we are smart. It's not like we'd, I don't know, spend £370 million on sending nobody to Rwanda, elect a leader who'd destroy the economy in less than 44 days, watch pornography in Parliament, get surprised into making a bet with Piers Morgan live on TV, pump sewage directly into the ocean, or contribute to a 37% increase in food bank usage. No. We're the people who brought you hiding in a fridge and Lee Anderson as the deputy chair of the party. We're masterminds.
Alright, I'll be your waiter.
So that last list, you may have noticed, if I was someone like Jonathan Pye, I would have just listed those things. But I couldn't remember all those things, so I had to cut in between. It's hard to remember everything. I'm not a political scientist or a scientific politician. I'll take that one again from the top. Thanks for joining, everybody. This next one is based on when I went to East London once, and it's about a trendy waiter. And there's a specific restaurant I went to that cooks everything on an open flame, and this was me trying to do slightly more like broad appeal stuff and less satire. Fewer satire. So whilst this plays, I'm going to run and get a drink. So hopefully I can do it.
For this evening, I am going to remain this low energy, and no, I will not be writing anything down. The beef tartare, the steak, and the surf and turf. Vegan? Why'd you order all that now? That's why I remember you ordering. How do you know that you didn't order that? Memory is fallible. Eyewitness testimony is no longer really considered evidence in court. I heard that on a podcast, so obviously we're cashless. Any allergies? Alright, so nuts, fish, and gluten. I'll probably pass that on. You should know that all of our food is prepared in an environment where we're all like... If you need to catch the eye of a waiter or anything, it's going to be really hard to differentiate. Are they working or are they just wearing corduroy? Are they a waiter? Are they a trendy customer? Are they a DJ? Are they all three? I am. So the menu's obviously on the QR code on the table. It's not really formatted correctly for mobile phones, so good luck with that. The specials are handwritten in chalk on a board over there. Yeah, the completely illegible ones, yeah. Listen, I'm sorry, I'm not writing anything down. Not my vibe, okay? You get what you get. It adds a sense of adventure to the meal. You don't know what's going on. Maybe I can't write. Maybe I only ever learned to doodle. Maybe I send those doodles back to the chef. He can't interpret them. Maybe he calls them shit hieroglyphics. Maybe the manager can't afford those little pads. Maybe he thinks it adds an element of sophistication. Maybe he thinks it's cool. Everything we do in this establishment screams that we think we're cool. Maybe I'm on a 0-hour contract in a cost of living crisis and I just don't have any incentive to work properly anymore. Maybe I hate you. Maybe pens don't exist. Maybe no one's ever written anything down. Maybe I'm writing a novel and I can't waste words on those little pads. Maybe you should write it down. I'm a waiter, not a writer. That's not true, I am a writer, obviously. You should come to my spoken word DJ cabaret set. It's bad.
So I have been...
Finish a sketch. I love that one. I think it's fun. Also gives me the ick a little bit, which is that intentional? Is it not? I don't know. This next one is on the 15th of April, 2024. So we're 4 months into the year. And it's when I read some of Liz Truss's book. Also, hello. I keep stopping to do this. Hi, thanks for joining, everybody. And if you wanna ask any questions, chuck them in the comments, because I'm getting bored of just saying stuff out of my brain. So if you have a question,
been mistakenly sent an advanced copy of Liz Truss's book, 10 Years to Save the West. So I thought I would read you a couple of extracts so you can hear what it's like before you go and buy it.
Did you hear me there trying to make it seem like it was a real video to boost engagement?
This is my story of being the only Conservative in the room, and how I found myself in that room, which was not a simple process. I often get lost and can't find the exits or entrances to rooms. It's actually how I began the process of writing this book. I simply couldn't find a way out of my office. I've been in many, many rooms in my time. The Conservative Action Conference was held in a room, and it was filled with people like Steve Bannon, and still I was the only Conservative in that room. At Nigel Farage's 60th, I was the only Conservative in that room. At my recent birthday, I was the only person in the room because nobody came. And now here we are, together in the big room which I call the world, with just 10 years to save the West from wokeism, socialism, and the deep state. All these things are trying to get in the room in which I'm the only Conservative, and that can't be allowed to happen. I remember when I met the Queen just after I became Prime Minister. I looked around her luxurious room and once again found I was very much in it, and very much also Conservative, and therefore the only one of that in this room too. She gave me one piece of advice and then died, which was very sad, specifically for me. We need more Conservatives, more rooms, and more being and in them. I am Liz Truss. West officially saved. 19 years later. The woke had not pained Lizzie for 19 years. All was well. So there you go out and buy it, I guess.
How concerned are you?
There you go. We take that, Liz. I'll stop her. This next video is when James Daly, who reported Angela Rayner's tax stuff to the Manchester police, and there was someone on the news who challenged him on this, and James Daly accused him of shouting at him. I thought it was really funny because he clearly hadn't shouted, and it was James Daly just wasn't answering any of the questions. They were legitimate questions. He was the deputy chair of the Conservative Party, February to July 2024. And there's a reference to when Tory MP Mark Menzies allegedly asked an aide for £6,500 to escape from some people. He's with some bad people. So that's what that reference is to when we come up to that reference.
You about this new investigation.
So James wrote to the police about Angela Rayner. What did you write to them, James?
Just shout a bit louder, just so none of us can hear.
What?
Unlike Chris, who shouts and makes all sorts.
Also, like the way he phrased that was shit. That was a bad. Speak a bit louder, so no, shut up, James. He's like the bad uncle.
Public allegations.
I wasn't shouting.
Allegations being made to the police.
Do you really think that I was shouting?
I've just answered that question. This is typical of what we go here. Shouting very loudly.
What are your concerns? What are the concerns?
I'm not a shouting guy.
The Greater Manchester Police should be able to look into these allegations.
I don't need to raise my voice, but what are the allegations?
I don't understand why you're not comfortable saying.
Well, we clearly have a different. We clearly have a different point of view.
Yeah, you think I'm shouting, and I'm not.
We should allow the Greater.
I'm just doing a little bit of a cry there. Don't worry. And this bit, I quite enjoy doing this stuff. So I've taken a screenshot there, and I've basically painted out the background and put a new background that sort of splits in the middle between James and I to make it look like we're in the same place. And I haven't done an amazing job. I think I've done a passable one. Yo, WSP. Hey, Brooklyn Blade. Follow. Thanks for following me. Enjoy the video. We got a new follow, everybody.
Greater Manchester Police investigate these matters fully.
Didn't you write to them about it?
Well, this is it. This is the difference of opinion.
Was I shouting or not? I really don't think I was.
I asked the police to investigate certain matters that were in the public domain regarding certain things.
Just answer the question, man. I want to go home.
I'm just curious.
I think we could all agree that Angela Rayner is the enemy, and it's not our multi-millionaire Prime Minister.
Police are investigating these matters, and I want to allow them to do that. that.
I'm stuck in a new studio with some really bad people. If you come and pick me up, I'll pay you $6,500.
Excuse the long.
Alright, this one. I don't know if you remember when the horses ran through London in April. Some horses. Someone just asked what we're up to. What we're up to is rewatching all the videos I made this year, and I'm watching them and analysing them, which is quite dull. I don't play any games. Someone just asked if I play any games. That's Brooklyn Blade. I play Noita and a bit of Halo, and I'm bad at both of them. One day I could stream them. Who knows? But I'm a comedian. I do satire, and this next one was when there was a bunch of horses ran loose through London, and they got covered in blood. So I covered myself in tomato ketchup and pretended to be a horse. This led to a man who didn't like me telling me that he didn't like me. And he also thought that I was Simon Sebag-Montefiore, who's a very distant cousin of mine, or like some relation of mine who I don't know at all. And he was not happy that I'd stopped writing an autobiography of humanity and started writing stupid parody videos and ruining a white shirt. So this is a horse who ran through London. Things were going well.
No, we weren't spooked. The only thing I'm spooked by is Islamism and wokeness, yeah? Which this city is bloody full of, let me tell you. How come the other day a load of humans got together, ran through London, they all got given medals? Where's my medal? I've had to pay the ULEZ charge. Apparently I'm not compliant. Too much bloody horsepower. Well, we wanted to do this on St. George's Day, but the woke Met Police wouldn't even let a little fox cross the road, let alone a lovely horse. So we had to wait till today. Gallop, gallop, gallop. I actually think the only reason I was stopped by the woke Met Police is because I look a little bit like the George's Cross at the moment, you know, red and white. It's definitely not that me or that little fox are in any way dangerous. No, there are lots of no-go zones in London and a couple of no-go zones as well. I mean, when was the last time you saw a load of horses running free through London? I did get a lot of blood on me because I ran into a bus, and I was surprised because I didn't know buses could bleed. Makes sense that they're red though. Bloody communists, all electric and tofu powered. Ugh. I'm actually surprised that we didn't get stopped by Just Stop Oil or something. Can't even get a lovely little sugar lump these days because of sugar tax. We're just having a lovely day out, gallivanting. See what I did there? These allegations that we're the five horsemen of the apocalypse. It's ridiculous. Just because people can't afford housing and the wealth gap is growing and the planet's becoming uninhabitably hot, I don't understand why people think five blood-soaked horses running through the city is an omen.
Lovely stuff. The next one is about audiobooks. I don't know if this is me just talking about like introducing the video, but yeah, I suppose what it is. This next one is
come and see me live.
Oh no, that's me. Look at me. Look at that.
Chapter 5.
This is clearly when I was starting to get do previews in London. Oh, sorry. For my Edinburgh show, I did my first ever Edinburgh show this year, so I was doing previews and stuff. Yeah, so this one is when the book author narrates the audiobook, and it's based on, I'll be honest, it's based on when I listened to Rory Stewart's audiobook, and he does accents, and they're not good, and it, as an actor, annoyed me. So enjoy.
To the restaurant nervously. I was, after all, nervous. The waiter came to show me to my seat. A young wispy Frenchman with an even wispier moustache and an air of sophistication. Right this way, sir, if you please. I followed him to the table where the group were already seated on seats. Brady spoke first. A strapping diplomat from Aberdeen with iron in his eyes and brew in his heart. Hey, laddie, you're late. You can't be late to such an important meeting. The German ambassador agreed. Yeah, we have been waiting for you for some time. I nodded and apologised apologetically. If you will allow me to explain.
Why is he doing a voice for himself?
Leave him alone. Probably just on the sauce from last night, said Newcastle-born Tina. This elicited a laugh from her Liverpudlian assistant, who added, that's probably awful, Tina. They were right, I was a little fragile, like glass or something. Focus, I thought, get to the point. Esteemed guests, I am sorry, but we don't have much time. There was a murmur of agreeable agreement that culminated with the representative of Ireland beginning the discussions. Diddle-dee, listen, we got to come to some sort of solution, otherwise we'll be losing millions affecting euros. I nodded at our liaison from Nigeria. He stood up and began to speak. Cut! I think we'll cut there. Do you think we maybe should get in an actor who can actually do voices and accents? No, I think it's probably better coming from me, someone who's never really written nor acted before. Plus, we're about to get to the chapter where I tour the Middle East. And yes, I do all of those ones too. At some point this year, we will...
Yay! Well done, Will. You did a great job in the past there. This next one is when Rishi Sunak was at the Policy Exchange and did a quite meaningless speech about the past, the present, and the future. And then, so I did a speech about sort of nothing as well. And it's funny watching. I say it's funny. It's what, insert adjective here, watching these back, because they're just so out of date. Obviously, because it was a specific time, but I had to look up my own video that I wrote. So if you remember this, you're a better,
to go to the polls and make a decision between the past and the future. Now, the past is full of stuff and the future is empty. Therefore, it has no data. And no data is what I've based this speech on. We have been in power for 14 years, but I don't think you can blame us for anything bad that's happened in that time, because we are talking about the future, which fundamentally is not the past. The only time we really want you to think about the past is when people on Twitter post those weird AI-generated images of an imagined England full of Morris dancers and poorly generated fingers with the caption, "I want my country back." Well, do you know what? So do we. So do we. When did we used to have our country? The past. When do we want it back? The future. And do not see the past 14 years through the prism of Liz Truss. Try using some rose-tinted spectacles, or do what I do and close your eyes and imagine. In the past, Natalie Elphicke was good. In the future, she is bad. Coincidence? No idea.
Natalie Elphicke was a Labour MP. No, the Tory MP.
Past is where we made the Rwanda bill, which will change things in the future. If we send no one to Rwanda, it will have cost us only £370 million. But good news, if we do send people, it could end up costing up to £500 million, which is undeniably cheaper than HS2. Human rights, I hope, someday in the future will become a thing of the past. We have spent a considerable amount of time in the past undermining the power of the domestic court to challenge deportations, meaning people in the future will have little choice but to go to the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, which is, like our Supreme Court here, very foreign. In the past, we were in the ECHR, but in the future, we could leave it and be heroes just like Russia. We are here for Britain. We have been here for Britain, and we will be here for Britain. Together, let's make the past the future. And once we are there in the future, that future will have become the past. Future, past, we did a good job. Don't look into it too much.
It is rain. Right, now we're getting into the juicy material, by which I mean I got in the shower and pretended to be Rishi Sunak. It was quite obvious that that's what I had to do when Rishi Sunak announced the general election. He also completely screwed over the show that I was making. So for those of you that saw it, it was a show called Will of the People, and this was on the 22nd of May, which is like 3.5 months away from Edinburgh. But the election was announced on the 22nd of May for the 4th of July. 4th of July was 27 days before Edinburgh started. And my show is just going to be all about Partygate, all about the Tories, and like a farewell to them. Assuming, sorry, I'm drinking beer and I'm burping just live on the internet. Sorry. Gross. That is gross. And I shouldn't have done that. So yeah, this was sort of like an excellent drive to have for the show, but then also like I did have to get very, very wet in the shower, and I also had like one take to get the first shot of it. But yeah, and I brought my bathroom. This is in my parents' family home where I am at the moment, and I had to bring my lamp into the bathroom. It was a hazard, guys. I didn't suffer for my arm, but
I have no umbrella. With me and this government, things can only get wetter, better. Steve, turn it off, please. We could have recorded this under something, but we decided not to. Because roofs, umbrellas, shelters, they're all incredibly woke. And
oh, I also, roofs is not the right spelling. It's roofs. So I got a lot of feedback about that.
That's why we're doing our best to separate vulnerable people from their roofs and their shelters. is what we've been doing for the past 14 years. We promise you sunlit uplands, and what you've got is sewagey wetlands, but they're our sewagey wetlands. It is time to call a general election because I am sick and tired of this and I want to move to Silicon Valley. We have made it rain in many
I was wrong about that. He hasn't left. I was just wrong. Shut up, Will.
ways. Backtracking on green policies to make the weather less predictable. Financially, we made it absolutely poor on Rwanda so we can send exactly 0 people there. 5 PMs in the past 10 years. We have a plan, and that plan is to confidently tell you it isn't raining. I am not wet. I am charismatic. The Supreme Court is foreign. We lowered inflation. We care about you. Poverty is a choice. Protest is a crime. There are no refugees, there are no asylum seekers, there are only small boats. Everything good in the past 14 years was us. Everything bad was whichever marginalised group we chose that week. You are more powerful when you're divided. Stay that way. When you go to the polls, don't think of the politicians. Don't think of the businesses. Think of the people who started doing satire online, are doing their debut Edinburgh shows this year, and now are completely Okay, so I went.
This next video is not a video I put any effort into, but if you saw my live show...
I went to the dump and I found this Le Creuset pot, right? And look, inside, it's a bit grey, but it's a Le Creuset pot. All right, let's do one of those transitions where you do a glow up. So look, it's been cleaned. Look at that. So the question remains, internet, am I a gross piece of garbage, or am I a complete genius? Let me know in the comments!
I've created...
That video got, like, so many views. And it's so frustrating. Because this next one didn't get as many, and this next one was stolen by, well, I use the word stolen. Other people have different opinions on it, but another content creator re-uploaded this video on their own page, and their Twitter account they uploaded it to is the premium one, so it's monetized. And that's just theft. And like, I know people are, oh, you know, you got the exposure, I credited you in the comments. Respectfully, poo off, actually. But yeah, this was when Nigel Farage announced he was coming back, and beginning of the end started, and he kept using this song. He kept using "Without Me" by Eminem, and all of his fans kept saying, "Guess Who's Back?" Like, he announced he was coming back to "Guess Who's Back," and I was like, "It's not called 'Guess Who's Back.' It's called 'Without Me.'" So this is the rap I made for that, and I tried to honour Eminem's original rhyme.
Created a monster, because nobody wants to vote Tory no more. There's turds all in our rivers. I won't change it, but here is what I'll give you. A bit of bigotry mixed with some large figures and dogma that'll incite the right quicker than a fox who's a cock and intimidating. Not a shock that my flock are discriminating when I'm stoking the fires of resent and hatred. And I firmly deny that the climate's changing. Don't need facts, I got cash and disinformation. And I know that the cost of living's aggravating, and I blame every single thing on immigration. So it's me and Lee saying leave means leave to asylum seekers, foreigners and refugees. But 2 days after Brexit in 2016, I applied for a passport from Germany. So I'm posing for pics, pints and crisps. Forget that I'm rich, elitist and shit. Propaganda. It's all just performance to camera. And at the point of climax I shout, Rule Britannia! Now milkshakes mean publicity, so you can call me Nigel Khalees. So I manufacture controversy, cause I'm a parasite who needs to feed. I've done bad things allegedly. Enoch Powell is my favourite celebrity. Don't care about the people or their poverty, but you knew that already, so vote for me.
You can see that we're getting towards Edinburgh now, because I keep ending each video with "See me live," which is fair enough. This next one is when I was like, I have to start making fun of Labour, and this is the first video I did, and it went so poorly. It's an interesting insight into, like, you know, what the people who follow me want to see and what I want to make. And, maybe the video is just not very good, but this song was from the perspective of Keir Starmer. And actually, this was the first sort of outing of that song, and it's changed a lot and got, I think, a lot better live. And there's a Skepta reference in it, but I don't know if it made this cut that nobody ever got, apart from when my sister came to see the show, was that was jokes. So, yeah, here's Keir Starmer singing Keir Starmer song. It's an original song. It's not even a parody.
White tie, where are the tourists? They're behind you. No, this isn't a pantomime.
That pantomime reference was put in the last minute because they did something pantomimic at the Labour Party conference. And I was like, oh, that'd be a good reference. Nobody got it, nobody liked it, and was
Diane Abbott, I tried to make her go, tried to give her the can, but no, I don't mean a mojito. I'm not the good guy. I don't know how this happened. I may not be Jeremy Clarkson, but I'm not Richard Hammond. I'm not Scar from the Lion King. I don't control the hyenas. I'm not Jeremy Corbyn. I don't have a small and stinky allotment. You never had a choice. The system, it is broke. Labour, Reform, Conservative, it's Pepsi, piss or Coke. Oh, none of them will nourish you, none of them will improve your lives, but I guarantee categorically I'm not the other guy. I'm not them, they're not me, not them exactly who I want to be. Oh, people say you should be yourself, but kids here to be, not someone else. Nah, that's not me. Act like a waste man, that's not me. Sex any girl, nah, that's not me. Lynch any girl, nah, that's not me.
Honestly, one of my favourite things to do live was pretend to be Keir Starmer and sing sketch lyrics.
Not too far on either side. I'm like Goldilocks, not too hard or soft. I'm just centre right. And I've done basically what Goldilocks did. I've walked through what was essentially an open door, and the bears that used to run the place, they're leaving, and I've said I'm going to decorate the house in basically the same way that the bears did, and everybody's starting to worry. Wait a minute. Is Goldilocks part bear?
Meet Mark.
Not charismatic to laugh at your own jokes, but I'd forgotten that I roared like a bear at the end of that. It was interesting when Labour got in. Everyone was like, "You can have nothing." I say everyone, one or two people on Twitter, and I remembered it. Like, you're not going to have anything to talk about now. Oh, you're not going to have anything to say. And they're right. It's not true. I have a lot of issues and a lot of problems with the limitations of Labour, and they're definitely further right of my politics. But the stuff that has happened since has been less. It's just not been breaking lockdown guidelines. That was just the easiest moment to make fun of stuff, and it was just interesting that video didn't do numbers. And I mean, it's not great. Like, look, whatever. It wasn't like my seminal piece of work, but it was just interesting how the landscape shifted a bit, and I sort of accidentally became a satirist. And trying to work out where I exist within it now is interesting for me and boring for
a
everyone
man who
else.
has
Here's
hope
the
in
video
his
about
heart and
Glastonbury.
joy in his soul because Mark doesn't give a shit about Glastonbury. He hasn't spent the entire weekend refreshing sea tickets. He hasn't been added to a single WhatsApp group about it. He hasn't pre-registered. He's not even really sure what that means. He did go to Leeds Fest once and thought it was absolutely fine. He can't relate to your pain.
True,
in
I
fact,
did do
he
that,
finds it a little bit funny. He doesn't know the difference between kosher or general entry, and he doesn't understand why you arrive on a Thursday for a weekend event. If you go to the pub with him, he'll politely say, "Oh, I've never been to Glastonbury." It might sound like he's just stating a fact, but look into his smug little eyes. Mark knows what he's doing. Mark is being a cunt. Albeit a cunt who has £355 more than you do if you got tickets, which Mark, having no knowledge of it, sincerely doubts. He'll say annoying things about the damage to the land and how he actually likes proper camping, even though he's literally only done that once when he was 12. He'll say that he prefers to see bands in intimate venues, when in reality the last gig he went to was Franz Ferdinand in 2009. Mark is
I did go to see Franz Ferdinand in 2009. Also, hi Liz here. Hi Laura.
absolutely
Hi Emma.
awful.
Hi
The
Kat.
only person
Hi
more
Rose. Hi
awful than
Frank.
Mark
That's
is
Frank.
people who are buying Glastonbury tickets. Going to Glastonbury is not your personality, whereas Mark not going to Glastonbury absolutely is his personality. Spare a thought this Glastonbury for your boring friend who you never invited. He won't be thinking of you. He'll be smugly shaking his head at ticket prices and saying things like, "There's a lot of Class A drugs at Glastonbury, it's really problematic actually." He doesn't want to see pictures of your cool outfits. He thinks you look silly. He doesn't care about the banner you've made. but he will watch the Sunday headliner on TV and tweet that they're past their prime. Glastonbury. Whether you got tickets or you didn't, shut the fuck up about it.
That is actually a video that I made last year, the very end of last year, because that is a toilet. Oh no, that's not a toilet. That is a toilet in London Bridge at Shire called Velvet Pines. We're going to move into the second half of the video. We've done half an hour in 1 hour, so I'm going to try and be quicker this time. But we're going to watch the next videos. The first video of the next one is when I made a video about there was a Reform candidate who was filmed saying some incredibly racist things, and Reform then said, but he's an actor. So clearly Channel 4, they alleged that Channel 4, all right, okay, allegedly they alleged that Channel 4 had paid an actor to be a campaigner and be like in this undercover footage. So I pretended that I had auditioned for that part, and some people fell for it.
Hi, my name's Will. I'm an actor.
That was
I was one of the actors who actually auditioned for this Nigel Farage stitch-up thing. So if you think it was staged, it absolutely was. It's that Occam's razor thing, isn't it, of the truth always being like the least likely option.
See, I thought that was very clearly like, oh, he's got Occam's razor wrong. This is clearly satire. No, and it gets sillier. Also, if you have any questions about any of the videos, drop it in the comments. Drop a comment in and ask me a question.
Back to me. A casting breakdown from Mandy.com, which is a great website that has all the actors on it. Me, all of them. And the audition process was like super secretive. I had to do like a vetting process. So they called me to vet me, and they were like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that was sort of it. I had to do like voices for the.
That was a little reference to Reform candidates just not really being vetted properly, which is
the audition. I got to do this voice, and then this one as well, which is my rough voice, which might sound exactly the same to you, but to like that's to the untrained ear, you know, that's actually very, very different.
Oh yeah, he was accused of doing on Mandy.com. You can write down different accents you do, and he could do a rough
put it through AI.
voice, so,
check if you want to.
That's what he did.
I actually only found out that I didn't get the job from seeing the video online, which was a bit tough. But fair play to the guy who did get the job. I thought he was very convincing, actually. Yeah, people say that like actors lie for a living, and that's not the case. Actually, acting is about telling the truth.
So I have been known to say that seriously on occasion. So sorry for being that guy.
Actors are always acting. Like if you see me filmed saying anything, I've definitely been hired and paid to do that thing, because that's the thing that people don't know about actors. We are like always employed, just always. That's why I'm in this cafe on a Friday afternoon.
So that was this. Then got. I mean, I've deliberately done it to myself there, but it got picked up by a couple of Reform accounts, like fan accounts, and a couple of people from Reform, and also some journalists. And I use that term inaccurately because they weren't journalists. Contacted me, being like, you know, hey, do you want to speak out about this? and also someone being like, there's a guy, I won't name him, but he's a guy who said that I was mocking him. Because he tweeted at me being like, "Oh, this is interesting," and I just screenshot that and went, "Uh-oh," and he was like, "Oh, I see you've made fun of me," and I was like, "That's not making fun of you." Anyway, had a little panic attack in a theatre in Birmingham, and then carried on with my life, and I made another video.
Hello.
What's the next one? Oh yeah, this was just a cool, cute one. I got invited to interview Hannah Fry and Christian Grew Murphy, and I interviewed them. And it was for real.
Hello.
Fake
I think there's a demographic that's been put on in
really
the action and in the coverage, which is the online satirist.
Yeah, of course.
We don't know what we're going to do next.
Of course.
So do you guys have any
so
advice?
So deeply underrepresented.
It's about time someone said that.
It is.
Christian, any advice?
I think you're going to be fine, but you're going to have to switch.
Switch ties.
Yeah. Because I think even if what you expect is going to happens, there's going to be a lot to take the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Christian, who's your favourite satirist?
Who have you seen recently?
Oh, that's devastating. Not going to recover from that.
You are now. My favourite satirist right now is you.
Great presenter, bad actor. Thank you very much for coming in, guys. I love you both.
Yay!
They were so nice. They were unbelievably nice. That was filmed. That was if you just joined, that was a little interview I did with Christian Drewmurthy and Hannah Fry, and they were both sound. They were both really lovely, very nice on and off camera. And this was the night before the election, so they were doing like a rehearsal for the election. And Channel 4, really cool producer, Channel 4 invited us to come and like just chat to them. That was so much fun. I've still got some more footage that I need to release from it. But yeah, they were just so sound. This is when now we're in Edinburgh. We're in August, so I'd say I made fewer videos than I have done in previous years because I was working up to the Edinburgh show, and I didn't want to release all the stuff that I'd made for the Edinburgh show. So this is when there was a fire alarm in my venue in Edinburgh, and I was singing.
Filled with wine. I like my wine like I like my constituents. Preferably white. For those of you watching who don't know what the show is, I'm currently in character as a Tory MP. I know the tie's wrong, but there's a whole opening to the show that provides very important context. Why I'm now outside doing hate speech. That's not what I'm doing.
Day in the life of an Edinburgh Fringe performer.
Oh, that's it. That's the video. Sorry about that. This next one is the day in the life of an Edinburgh Fringe performer, and it was fun to make. God, so boring.
Start the day nice and early at
Why?
11:45 with a healthy breakfast, followed by doom scrolling and comparing myself to other people.
Oh, they're doing really well. They're not doing so well. Check my sales. Okay, they're fine. Probably stay here for another 6 hours and then I'll go do my show.
I realise I'm dehydrated, so I pour myself a large glass of water, which I'll place on the side of a table and never actually drink.
This I do every single day.
I do a little nervous poo, I pop my shoes on, and then I put on the most important thing that I own, my lanyard. Otherwise,
I genuinely love wearing a lanyard. I think it's really helpful.
otherwise people might not know I'm a performer. I leave the house, I then immediately re-enter the house because I've forgotten to check the hob. I check the hob. I leave the house properly and complain about the weather.
Sunnier than I expected.
I hear some relaxing Scottish music. I spot a little encouraging sticker. I get very confused about where I am because I think I'm on ground level, and I look down and ground level appears to be below me.
What?
I walk past all the tourists who are touching Greyfriars Bobby, and I judge them because they don't even have lanyards, and then I realise that Greyfriars Bobby is lucky, so I touch him in the hope that it'll make the show go better. I do about 4.
I got told off by someone in the comment section for touching Greyfriars Bobby's nose.
40 seconds of flying, and then I give up and go and have a flat white and a croissant. I get crumbs.
Honestly, trying to fly it for your own show, I don't know how people do it. It's so, like, come see this show.
It's all over
I'm
myself.
the show.
I consider going
Thank
back
you.
outside, but
It's
I
so
see that it's somehow rainy and sunny, so I go for another nervous poo. I do about 15 seconds of flying, then I give up and go to the dressing room, steal a liquid death from Ali Woods, and then I go and do the show.
What do you do for a living?
Have another nervous poo to celebrate, steal some toilet water, and then head to the private members bar so people can see me there and I can see people there. I see the best show I've ever seen at the Fringe, the Keg Kickers, 5 stars, the Scotsman. I suddenly remember that glass of water, realise I need a drink, so I go for cocktails and shots with Will Duggan. The evening
I was also there with my sister, who's great, who came up. Will Duggan is very lovely, very, very brilliant stand-up. You should follow him here. Who was really, him and Rachel Fairburn were in my dressing room, and were both so nice. And
It's a little bit out of hand, and I end the day with one final nervous poo.
honestly, that is probably how much I poo on a normal day. I hope that's normal. And the song there, It's in the Way That You Use It, is in reference to Harmontown. Dan Harmon and Jeff Davis often use that song. And it's used in Community, in the 4th or 5th season of Community, when Harmon comes back as the showrunner. That song is like, it's sort of their punctuation song that they use to make things funny, and I like to chuck it in at the end. So I think throw some. Oh, this was when Nigel Farage. So I didn't make any of the videos in Edinburgh. As you can see, we're now on the 30th of August, and this was when I was in Ireland preparing for my wedding. So I got married this year. Yep. So this I filmed in Dublin, and did I say Edinburgh previously? Oh, I'm losing my mind. And this is when Nigel Farage, the person who threw something at him, got let off. And so he said, throw cement at me, walk free. And so I wrote a little song.
Meant at me, walk free, the injustice of the century. But if you plan to do protesting, 4 years in prison is fine with me. I won't go to Clacton-on-Sea, it's triggering, there's too much concrete. Where do they get it? Does it grow on trees? My Graham, please clarify for me. 'Cause throwing things is worse than stirring up hate or spreading lies via Andrew Tate.
Because that's obviously a reference to the racist riots that happened in the UK, that Nigel Farage was sharing information from Tate, and nasty.
Running off to the United States where you can watch Trump and Master being horrible. So on balance, you probably shouldn't throw things at politicians, but you also probably shouldn't use your influential position to stir up anti-migrant hatred, fueling the fire of racist riots, and not really care about your involvement in that because you're a little shit, and keep elevating yourself to make money pretending you're a voice of the people when you earn about 90 grand a month on top of your MP's salary. You're a concrete hypocrite.
So you probably
So I very much put the ish into musician, right? And I've not listened to that song since I made it. I think it's quite nice, actually. I quite like that one. It's quite clever. Thanks so much, pal. Lenny Daly. Thank you for saying you love my work. That's so kind of you. And yeah, I don't know if I'll be at the Fringe next year. It depends. Depends on life. This next one on the Christmas list is when Kemi Badenoch talked about David Tennant, and I'm always going to side with David T against Kemi. So this was me getting annoyed at the fact that she'd used an old style TV. She'd made this like sort of response video, like a rap battler would do, like a diss track, but instead of a like fun song, it was just like a bad like parody skit. So this was me responding to that in September. So this was about 2 weeks before I got married, and I think I was back at my family home.
saw this video that Kemi Badenoch made, and I just can't stop thinking about it. That TV looks like a Toshiba Blackstripe from like the 80s, but she's watching a clip of David Tennant.
That took me a long time to work out. I did a lot of Google image searching to find out what that TV was. I'm pretty sure I got them all right.
So those TVs tend to have an RF or RCA input, which
I don't know that. I had to Google all of this. I think
ChatGPT may have helped. So you have to get like an HDMI converter to go into you have to do a lot of stuff to get that YouTube clip onto that TV. And like the TV turns on as if that was just on. So she's got this clip on YouTube on her laptop, and then she's plugged it in through this very convoluted method to get it on the TV, turned the TV off, turned it on, and made sure she's filming it. Also, probably had to adjust the frame rate of the camera to properly film the old TV. So in this clip, David Tennant said,
because that, you know, when you film, you have black bars across it. It's good. It's not necessarily funny, guys.
Shut up. And then Kemi sort of respond as if she's answering the question from the TV.
No, I will not shut up.
Like, why are you talking to a TV? Why is the TV from the 1980s? Like, is she even in the same room? The wood is different in the room. At the end, she says,
there is no bad in my name.
Fair enough, because he pronounced her name incorrectly. But, like, we don't think that Kemi Badenoch is bad because her name has bad in it. This is the same reason I don't think David Tennant is made of 10 ants. I think she's bad because of the stuff she says and does. I just can't get over the story that's being told with this old TV. It's almost as if she doesn't really think things through critically. Why is it on Monday TV? Why are you watching it? Sure, maybe an intern downloaded that because it's Adobe stock footage. Maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into the video. I don't know. She also said she's not scared of Doctor Who. No, obviously not. A, you're not a kid. 2, A, is fictional, isn't it? And it would be crazy to be scared of something that isn't based in reality or fact. Speaking of transphobia, why are you watching YouTube on a 1980s TV?
We're now on to Russell Brand's Lord's Prayer. This was when old Rusty Rockets did his Lord's Prayer. This is the first sketch I made as a married man, so you'll be able to tell there's a little bit more, you know, serious love involved here. This is more excited and joyful. It's one of the few times I do an American accent actually as well. This is when Russell Brand and Jordan Peterson did the Lord's Prayer.
Pray for America.
On a stage.
And if I have your permission, ladies and gentlemen,
ask for consent. That's new.
We'll end with the Lord's Prayer. Just do the version that you know.
Our grifter, who art on rumble, damaged be thy brain. What hath thy done? Thy friends quite dumb, well practiced in deception. Give us this day our daily bread. And by bread, I mean rage bait, engagement farming, conspiracy theory nonsense. And forgive us our trespasses. Trespasses including but not limited to historical sexual abuse and wearing tidy whities. As we forgive those, like Jordan, who clearly don't know the words to this prayer. And lead us not into salvation, but into following a liar who has weaponized spirituality and using long fancy words to try and remain an influential figure despite having nothing of value to offer the world. For lies are his kingdom, his power, and glory forever and ever. Amen.
That is the old Rusty Rockets. This sort of now marks me coming into the period that I'm in at the moment, which is making fun of Russell Brand and online grifters, and sort of trying to work out what to do post Edinburgh after the show, after getting married. What's comedy like now as a married man? But being like, what am I going to make content about? And yeah, so I'm sort of there's much less political stuff in terms of making fun of politicians in the next half of these videos. And some of the stuff like this next video here is one I filmed ages ago and just found on my hard drive and was like, oh yeah, I need to edit a bunch of these. So I started editing them, and this one I don't think really stands up to
Oh, thank God you're back. I was watching the stuff. Just so you know, it has gone. Oh? It is a good question. Somebody took it.
But you said you'd watch it.
Yes, I know. That's how I know someone took it.
You're supposed to be looking after it.
Oh, no, you said watch it, not look after it.
Oh my God, you fucking idiot.
Whoa. I'm not the one who left a perfect stranger in charge of their phone, laptop, coffee, and baby.
Baby? I don't have a baby. Where's Emily?
Yeah, so you know you asked me to watch your baby.
Emily!
Oh, at least you didn't have to watch it happen. It was horrible. It nearly put me off, but... Hey, where's my flat white gone?
I have watched...
That's good fun. This next one is the Reform Party political broadcast that they announced, being like, we're using AI. And it was one of those, it's quite rare that I do this, where I was like, oh, I pre-planned that I would do a video about something, because usually I'll take something that's happened and make fun of that. This was like, oh, they're launching this, I'm going to watch it and do a react video to it. Because react content is the highest form of art, as we all know. So I did that, and this video sort of, I didn't really go anywhere.
The Reform Party political broadcast, so you don't have to.
This is Labour the movie. It's mostly made with AI. They've used AI to add a question mark. A person couldn't have done that. This is Gordon Brown standing in front of some gold. Some of that gold is melting, along with some of the faces of the people in the background. That is a rose. The petal falling off it. Clearly not a rose petal. The grandparents not shivering. They're static images. The whole thing feels like they made it just so they didn't have to pay someone to come and film B-roll. Glasses. This is obviously meant to be Mick Lynch, but clearly they've just written like powerful bald man, which is why this guy looks like Vin Diesel and Alan Shearer. Free gear Kia. Thieves Reeves was right there. Angela's got off pretty well there, hasn't she? What has she got in her hand? Oh, she's just got really long orange fingers. She's been eating a bag of Wotsits. It was advertised it was AI. First 58 seconds, AI. The last like 2 minutes and 10 seconds, just Nigel Farage talking. Also, people who don't understand storytelling doing storytelling. Like, he is watching this trailer. So he's in a cinema on his own watching the trailer. Why? We pull out and it was actually Nigel watching it. Nigel made it. You got to work harder than that. Just put a couple of extras in the seats.
Well, that was entertaining, but hey, you know what?
Well, that was entertaining, but hey, you know what? I mean, it sounds like you got AI to write that bit. It's just nothing. It's not like, oh, this is so bad it's funny. It's just substandard. And we're worried about what AI will do to movies. What will Nigel Farage do to them? Unethical, unimaginative, zero humanity. Hey, Nigel, reform of the AI of political parties, true or false?
It's true. It's true. And it's true. It's all true. It's certainly true.
You heard it here first. What's that? Like and subscribe.
Hello, I'm just...
Not really an ending there. I haven't put an ending on that one, but it's working out what the internet wants. Oh, hi Nate, how are you? Look at all these people coming in. Thanks for coming in, guys. It's look, that's a react video, and that's what I've done, and now let's move on. This is when Russell Brand, there was a video that went viral that actually was filmed quite a while ago of Russell Brand selling an amulet for a company, and he was doing an ad for a company that stops like radiation waves and AI and stuff. AI? No, sorry, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and electromagnetic stuff. So this is him and this is me. Again, sort of react video. I'm really like we had the Arctic Monkeys original album of Will's Compton. Has already been done. So this is him trying to what's his favourite worst nightmare? What's it going to be like? That is a niche and bad way of explaining that
Just back from Narnia, where I had a holiday.
Narnia.
Mr. Tumnus, Aslan, all those guys.
The whole Narnia timeline spans like year 1 in Narnia to year 2555. The equivalent Earth time is the year 1900 to 1949. That means that on average, 1 year on Earth is equivalent to 52.14 years in Narnia. It's now the year 2024. Mr. Tumnus is fucking dead. When the children return to Narnia, Mr. Tumnus has been dead for 1,300 years. Add to that the 3,000 something years that has passed. I know Aslan's still kicking about because he's basically Jesus. You'd know that if you were actually a Christian.
And as you know, airports are places full of Wi-Fi.
You haven't just been to Narnia. You didn't come out of a wardrobe, did you? Oh, actually, well, I've read all the books and I know there are different ways of getting pulled into Narnia, like once they use a magic horn or some shit to yank them in there. I know that, because unlike Russell, I did a little bit of reading. Entrances to Narnia. A wardrobe, a railway station platform, framed picture, some magic rings, the wood between the worlds. Nowhere did C.S. Lewis mention a fucking airport. It's almost as if this guy makes videos without having done any reading or research beforehand.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So this tweet went...
There we go, again. Little ending with a bit of music. Look at that. This video is, I think, one of the most successful ones I made this year. The British Guy Explains Pizza. And yeah, it's just, well, look, it speaks for itself. I don't really know why I'm trying to
making fun of British people.
Here we go. Here's a British Guy Explains Pizza.
There's actually a really interesting cultural quirk. What we consider pizza is actually heavily reliant on context. It's actually a bit tricky for people who are not from the Great Britain, so I thought I'd explain a bit of it to you. So next time you come here, you won't embarrass yourself. So, really anything with something on the bottom and another...
Oh, I do get a lot of people commenting on this.
Another thing layered on top can sort of be considered pizza. Our most common pizza that you've probably heard of is beans on toast pizza. We tend to drop the pizza bit and shorten it. If you want to sound really British, you can use the slang name, which is biztos. For a pizza to be a pizza, it has to include either Marmite or Worcestershire sauce. Actually, to be honest, most things have to include that for it to be British cuisine. If it doesn't have that on or in it, it tends to be a foreign dish. So something layered, other things on top. Now, you might think that like a canapé at a dinner party could be considered a pizza. We wouldn't call that a pizza. We'd call it a pizzette. It's like a pizzette, but we pronounce it pizzette, and people think that comes from the Italian like pizzetti or pizzetta, but it actually comes from a place called Yorksmington, which was an old mining village, and they used to use large screws and very small screws, and the small screws were called pizzettes. So we call canapes pizzettes, which is in a way a pizza. What else? Pasta. If you have pasta on the bottom, sauce on the top, we would call that a pizza. But if the sauce is mixed in, we'd call that a Gramble thicket or a Mumar's fourth whip. If you are travelling around Great Britain or any of the UK, then you probably will come across sandwiches, but they won't be called sandwiches, because we see a sandwich as two little pizzas kissing, which is why we refer to them as kissy nibblers. If you do come over and visit us in the great United Brit England, then I would recommend that you try our national dish, and that is a hot mince pizza served with a cup of tea. But call it what we call it, which is a meaty flatty and a hot wetty.
Now, hot wetty, genuinely, that's the one thing I'd like any of you to take away from this video is please start calling hot drinks hot wetties. So when someone comes into your house, do you fancy a hot wetty? It's great stuff. Last New Year's Eve, I was with some friends in South Africa. Don't worry about it. Don't ask why. For a wedding, I told you now. We just came up with different names. Yeasty wetties a beer, fizzy wetties champagne. It's just all context based. It's very nice. It's good fun. And you should start.
I hope that really helps you all.
Well,
God save the king.
This is when you ask a stranger to take a picture. I think the story behind this sketch is somebody asked me to take their picture, and I thought, observation done. Let's try the
Which way? Like this? Oh, a bit quirky. I'll do both. I'm doing some on portrait. Don't really know how to use an iPhone. Whoops. Reading your texts. I'm not. I saw this on TikTok actually. Now do a silly one. 3, 2, 1, jump. Oh, not me. I took loads. Let's phone back. They're all selfies. How are they? Are they good? Do they work? Look at them now. Don't say I'm sure they'll be fine. I want some feedback. Just take a second out your day and have a look. Because I stopped. I was on my way to meet a friend, and you and your stupid family made me take pictures of you. I know it seemed like I was having a good time. I'm a polite person. You're with your family on this lovely mountain pass, and my family are dead. So what am I supposed to do? Are you going to take pictures of me? Are you going to do all the angles? Are you going to do the selfie joke and pretend that you took a selfie? That's my joke. People like you just take, and you just say like, oh, that guy will take my picture and he won't even mind. I'm a professional photographer. My daily rate is like £300 before VAT. I had to learn what VAT is, and I just gave my skills to you for free. Those pictures belong to me. Give me the phone back. They're my pictures, not yours. My family died. Huh? Oh, they're out of focus. Oh yeah, no, I'll take some more. I'm so sorry about that. Smile.
Hi, Camilla, it's lovely to meet you. Yeah, no, big casual. The clothes budget goes mostly to Kia. So
this one is about Labour interfering in the US with the US election, because that was a thing that they were accused of. And again, this video did not do numbers. So they're meeting Kamala, wearing a tie. The rest is history.
We obviously did a pretty good job last time we had one. So most important question, what does your dad do and how often have you mentioned it? Okay, have you been to any Taylor Swift concerts? Definitely go to some of them. They're great and free. Whilst you're at it, why don't you get some corporate seats at some sporting events? One of those football games you guys have here. Football that is mostly played with your hands. So in the campaign, what we do a lot is mention working people, but we would never define who that was. Make a load of sort of vague promises and hope people will just assume that you'll do a good job and also forget those vague promises you made. Have you given any fictional characters passports? Because the last government gave Paddington one that just came through. That seems to be going down well. Maybe like give Bluey a work visa or something. Basically, the way I see it is to win an election, you sort of need to be running against a party who've been in power for like 14 years and done such a bad job that the public will literally vote for anyone. Like I reckon if Paddington ran, good chance. If there's a D-Day memorial, stay to the end. Did you have Sky TV growing up? How cold are your old people? Like I'm colder. So we had Starmageddon. Maybe you could have We've Come a Long Way. Come along with me. Unlike the other guy, I haven't sexually harassed someone.
That's genuinely, that would have worked.
Yeah, it's a bit long, that one. Maybe just harassment. We'll workshop that. We will workshop that. You could be the haristocrat. Haristocrat. Last question. Have you ever been a lawyer? Oh my god, just mentioned that. Your dad vague promises and we're done. Or do you want to sue Gray? By the way, you can have her. In case anyone asks, she's definitely not a spy. No, she's not.
Yeah, I had to Google for a while the James Bond code to find it. This I filmed absolutely ages ago, and it's about barefoot running. I have barefoot running shoes. Everybody hates that about me. I don't mind if you also do too, whoever's watching this. I wear barefoot running shoes. People hate me for it.
Didn't even mean for you to notice. Sorry about that. Your shoes, yeah, no, I used to wear foot prisons as well. Yeah, I'm a barefoot runner. I don't go on about it. I'm a barefoot runner. It's like a natural runner. I'm a natural runner. It's just more honest this way, you know. It's like my feet are having a real conversation with the earth. And like a lot of my conversations is very one-sided. This is actually how our ancient ancestors used to run, barefoot, and in a unique blend of rubber and foam. It's actually much better for you to run barefoot. Also, these shoes make it much easier to climb up onto a high horse. Sorry, what's that sound you're saying? Injuries? I don't know what that means, actually. Since getting a pair of these, I haven't even had a sniffle.
God, you know what's devastating is that not 5 days ago I got
It's actually impossible to get injured when you run barefoot. Honestly, these things work in all terrains. Except restaurant terrain. You will get kicked out of nice restaurants if you go anywhere in these. But I don't want to eat there, do I? Because they probably frown on me using my cutlery with my feet. No business for you. I can run faster and further than most people. I obviously choose not to, but I could. Is it head, shoulders, knees and shoes? I don't think so. I would happily run completely naked wearing only these shoes, but apparently if I do that again, I'm breaking the conditions of my parole. Sometimes I even actually run without these guys, completely barefoot. When was the last time? Just before I was in hospital with tetanus, do you remember? I also never learned to tie my shoelaces, so this is easy. Answer me this, how many pictures have you seen on WikiFeet that have shoes on? Not that I've ever been on WikiFeet. People often ask me, am I running away from something? Am I running towards something? Yeah, I'm running towards a group of people, often trying to get them to run with me because no one seems to want to. When it comes to running, with these shoes, I never get cold feet. Well, I mean, literally, I do get cold feet, but I always want to go for a run. Actually, do you know what? I'll never wear shoes again. I'm putting my foot down, very gently and avoiding a heel strike.
Our dragon.
Great stuff, Will. Lovely, lovely behaviour. That last one is a joke about how to run properly wearing barefoot shoes. Look, I love them, but I accept everybody's criticism. People hate me for it. Speaking of people and hating, this is Jordan Peterson when he said that dragons were real. He was in an interview with the Cosmic Skeptic and Richard Dawkins, and he did what he often does, which is say things that are stupid but try to make them sound clever. And whilst he does this, he's doing the verbal equivalent of the
Dragon is real. It's complicated. Are donkeys real? Is Shrek real? What is a predator? A dragon is a predator? Is Predator a predator? Or is it Alien? Is Russell Brand a predator? No, he's a Christian now. Is fire a predator? Well, that's complicated. Is water a predator? Maybe. I don't know. I do know. Or do I? Sometimes water could be dangerous. When it's a small wave, of course, that's fine. Surfboard hanged hen dude. But a tsunami? Gotta be a predator. The letter T in the word tsunami is hiding there, much like a predator would. So I ask you, can letters be predators? We know numbers can, right? Of course, because 7, 8, 9. But the question remains, does 7, 8 fire? It's complicated. Dragons, are they real? Dragons, as we know, have wings, and buffalo do not. And yet if I served you up a plate, is it dragon wings? No, buffalo wings. with ranch dip. How could you possibly fit a whole ranch in a dip? Ranches are large, dips are small. Maybe on the side you have blue cheese dressing. Well, blue cheese rarely wears clothes, so why is it dressing? It's complicated. Am I a dragon? Say you knew a man called Mr. Agon, and he studied for a PhD and he got it, and he became Dr. Agon. Is he a dragon? Letters-wise, yes. Fire-wise, maybe. It's complicated. Often they say rap artists spit raw fire, but can fire be raw? It's not an apple. Or is it? Sometimes when I talk, people say that I'm dragging on and on. Am I a dragon? It's complicated.
Here's a guaranteed way of making money. Every day you walk past people, hundreds of Matrix drone people. What do they have in their pockets? Wallets, purses, phones, money. What is stopping you from taking that money for yourself and using it for your own personal growth? There's power in money. There's money in power. There are pockets of power. You have pockets. Fill those pockets with money and power. You've got hands. They've got wallets. Go get it.
So that Cobalt Fortitude logo made on Photoshop. Obviously very proud of it. I think this is, and the Jordan Peterson one. So speaking of Jordan Peterson and that Cobalt Fortitude, don't worry, I washed my hands. Henry Morris is here. Hi Henry, how are you? Everyone should go follow Henry Morris immediately and buy his book on Tories and Shakespeare. He's a very funny and very nice person. Also, hi Mark Sims, how are you? Thanks for watching. And the Uck, that's what we call the UK these days. The Uck. Listen, so I started doing this stuff like the Cobalt Fortitude stuff. He's a character that I came up with on my podcast, Legitimate Likes, and he's a grifter, sort of ultra masculine wellness influencer. And I think there's it's something that I'm thinking about a lot at the moment, and looking at a lot online, is this sort of the cult of, like, I guess the cult of masculinity, but it's like a co-opted masculinity that men use online to make other men feel bad about themselves. And I think they weaponize masculinity to attack women and to better themselves, and not to help other people, but only to help themselves. And it really annoys me and makes me upset. And so I was like, I'll do a fake influencer character, but I don't have the look of one of those guys. So you'll see more of them later on. I've done more stuff making fun of that sort of world, because that's sort of what I'm more being exposed to at the moment than politics. I used to, basically the change in Twitter has really changed the way I make content, because it used to be just a place I went to talk about politics, and now it's become like where all the Nazis are. So that sort of changed. So anyway, in high relief to that, this is a sketch about when a plumber comes around to a posh guy's house. I don't know who the posh guy could be. Is it autobiographical?
Mirror, hot tap, cold tap. I'm a man, just so you know. I actually know quite a lot about bathrooms, just in case you didn't know. Just telling you where everything is. Ceiling, floor, door. I did have a go at fixing myself, but I've never done any, what's it called? Work before. So what's your favourite type of water, my guy? I'm a San Pelly man myself. I'm actually 476th in line to the throne, so technically all my flushes are royal. Sorry? Oh, I forgot to, did I? Sorry about that. So is this going to be like £30 or like £3,000? I have no frame of reference. Can I get you tea, coffee, water? Bit of a busman's holiday offering a plumber water, really, isn't it? How long you been in the plumbery game? You ever drunk toilet water? Where does water come from, actually? Do I pour oil down the kitchen sink? When I said my dad's in oil, that's not cooking oil, right? No, amazing. Yeah, I've never heard of it, actually. No. If I'm honest, this is the first time I'm actually hearing about this kitchen sink thing. Amazing. Why would you need one in there? I do know you're not supposed to put foreign objects down the toilet, so I do only put English stuff.
Doorbell's
Oh,
gone.
it's overflushing, is it? Right. Well, I always use the big button, not the small button, because my penis is so strong that I imagine that it needs all of that pressure. I am a man. I've had sex with ladies, yeah, in here once, actually. I think that's how I got a yeast infection. Okay, mate, I'm going to leave you to it. I'll be in the other room pretending to be busy when really I'm just listening out to see if you steal anything. Cool, see you later.
All right, here we go. This is where we get into the Instagram sort of horrible video hole, which I started watching horrible videos on Instagram because my friends Andy and Izzy basically have ruined my algorithm and send me, and Sarah Douglas, they've really ruined my Instagram because they just send me awful videos like this one. And then I'm like, well, I've seen that now. I'm going to have to make everyone else see it. So this is a guy, I think he's an OnlyFans model, and his pals doing a video where they decided.
Cheers, Victor. Lovely guys.
Oh, that's nice, Josh. Oh, that's a great ending theme, yeah. What a normal thing we've all just done. And to think when we arrived, I was so nervous about pitching this. I was like, oh, I know I want to do this video, and they're going to think you're weird. Are they going to want to do it? Is it completely mental?
Also, sorry, it's probably important to let you know that people thought that maybe my wife was the one throwing the water, or like a housemate, but no, that was just me off screen, just doing a bit of this, like that, and then I had to like crop in and cut out the glass of water. Is that interesting? Is it dull? Either way, it's true.
Holiday, hey guys, can we do a shagging the side of the pool video? Will people be up for it? Do we even have the time between the sightseeing and the beach? We dedicated time together for me to film you all humping a wall and splashing the water out. And yes, we had to do several takes because, naming no Gaz names, someone humped a bit too hard and hurt their winky, didn't they, Gaz? Oh no, look, it's easily done. Occupational hazard, that, isn't it? You all just took it in stride. Just a bunch of lads humping the side of the pool to splash the water out and show how good we are at sex, because let's be honest, therapy is just expensive. Now, who fancies going to a restaurant? Don't worry, if we pass a body of water on the way, we will be humping it. I'll bring the camera, you guys just make sure to pack your balls, butt, hips, ass and face. Alright guys, one more hump and then we can go. Oh! Oh, not again, guys.
Poor Gaz. Oh, little Gaz. Right, this is a live clip from when I did my live show, Will of the People, for the last time in London, in Cavendish Square, with Underbelly, which is great fun. And it's just a
So I have a backup, have something to fall back on. So before I went to drama school, went to get a backup degree. I thought that was an applause, it was just someone moving a drink. I was like, thank
It's horrifying that you can't actually hear.
you. I learned that in drama school, always walk towards what sounds like no. Uh-oh, we found a game, haven't we? You're gonna get tired of this before I do. That felt a bit, I was the Dom the whole time and I became the sub there. Did you see that? The power dynamic shifted, that was amazing. Well, I don't know what I was talking about. What the fuck was I talking about?
Backup!
Huh? The backup degree! Oh yeah, this is such a minor punchline. And now I've pushed so much tension in between it.
Lovely stuff. Live show. If you want to come see me live, you probably should. We're reaching the end, guys. We're getting to the end, and we've nearly done an hour video in 2 hours. So that's good.
Like you can't afford the bread till they find out that you own the bakery. Remember that.
Okay, super good advice there. Yeah, I'll give that a go. I know I want to.
Change it. Sorry about it. Oh, spoilers, Will. I was just trying to say to you that in the video where is it? Oh, jeez Louise, this is terrible stuff. I'm just going to mute that. So the first video here, the first scene where the guy's talking about the bakery, I like reversed the image and like rebuilt the table in Photoshop so that I could look like I was in the same garden as the guy. And I think I did a pretty good job. It doesn't really stand up to scrutiny if you zoom in too far, but it definitely works for what it needed to be. And where is the bakery video, man? We're just gonna have to wait for it to start again. I'm usually pretty technically savvy, but streaming is quite hard. This streaming thing. Thanks so much for watching. Again, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. I will try and answer them, and I'll let you know how I feel about bakeries. Here we go. You've stalled enough, Will. Act like that. It's what you're saying. I'm not going to try and act like
the bakery.
Can't afford the bread until they find out the own bakery.
Okay, super good advice there. Yeah, I'll give that a go.
Yeah, remember that.
Oh, I don't have enough for the bread. Hiya, lovely bakery. I can't afford any bread at the minute. Yeah, tough time, cost of living, isn't it? Focaccia, sourdough, other breads. Out my price range. Forget about it. No, seriously, I can't afford a baguette. Sorry, did you ask me a question? No? Oh, well, I'll keep going anyway. Do you want to know why I can't afford bread? No? Well, I'll keep going anyway. I can't afford bread because I spent all my money on the bakery. Yes, I am the owner. Thanks for your hard work, actually. Yeah, you're doing a great job. Thanks, guys. It's like business advice. It's like, act like you can't afford the bread until they find out that you
you own the bakery. Yeah, it makes complete sense. It does involve you having to own a bakery and maintain a sort of like distance level with your staff that's sort of not productive so that they won't recognise you. But it definitely works. I mean, when I said I couldn't afford the bread, you believed me. And when I said I own the bakery, you're not sure if you believe me? Yeah, well, that's fair enough, because anyone can sort of just say they own a bakery. Yeah, I don't really know what it means as business advice, because how would that be helpful? That's weird. It's almost like business advice on Instagram isn't actually advice, and it's just there to drive traffic and engagement to the person who made it, and the person who made it doesn't care that I'm now wandering around from Greg's to Greg's pretending I'm Greg. Could I have a free sausage roll? Ah, fair enough. That's worth a try, wasn't it? That's my business advice. Always ask for a free sausage roll. No, I will leave. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll go try my luck in Pan Quotidian.
Remember that.
There's that Eric Clapton song again that I stole as a concept from Dan Harmon. This guy I think is part of the Seaman Retention Army, and if you don't know what that is, just Google it. This is called...
Hello, mate. How are you? Yeah, I'm just putting together the edit at the minute, and I just wanted to triple check that you're okay with the wording. Yeah, the team is sort of wondering if we need balls full on the old screen there. Right, that's a deal breaker for you, is it? Okay. It's just the other stuff in the text there is less. I'm going to use the word cummy. Empty stomach, yeah, fine. Mind clear, very good. Animalistic instincts and spiritualized power. Sort of meaningless and a bit toxic, but fine. They all seem within the same realm, and then it also says balls full. We just sort of think there might be a way of saying abstinence without referencing the volume content of your testes. No, it is clear that you think this is an important message because you tweeted it and then you sent it over to your social media team to then make a video of you behind the tweet. And in both of those instances, balls full is the phrase. What we've done with the tweet is plop it on the video covering the fullness of your balls. They are quite obvious. Yeah. Right. Well, do you know what? You haven't convinced me, but you are paying me, so we'll just probably upload it as it is. It'll probably get loads more views than anything genuinely helpful. Lovely stuff. Give your balls my regards.
While the Prime Minister has been...
Oh yeah, this is Kimmy Baynock doing some biscuit puns, and it was kind of... I think when politicians try and do comedy, it kind of winds me up. So I thought I'd weigh in on this. Oh, God, sometimes.
Hobnobbing in Brazil.
28th of November.
Businesses have been struggling to digest his budget. It is not only the ginger nut that is causing him problems.
The proper way for this opposition to hold the government to account. Biscuit puns. So, look what it is. What do they make? Hobnobs. Wherever he's been recently. Brazil, great. Hobnobbing in Brazil.
Yeah, because this, she's not great at PMQs.
That one's almost written itself. That easy start made it feel like it was going to be easy. It's sort of immediately become difficult, isn't it? It's going to be tough to beat hobnobbing. Well, Digestive's obviously the ultimate flagship. How are we going to get Digestive into...
Oh, the ultimate flagship. That is a reference to the off-menu episode with Tim Key, where he's talking about digestives. And he says they talk for a while about flagships and ultimate flagships. It's a very niche reference.
We could say the business is having sort of digestive issues trying to swallow his policies. To digest his policies? Half a pun is basically that's fine. Huh? Yeah, Angela Rayner is ginger. Yeah. Well, I was thinking, hey, this policy, do you make a ginger do it? Huh? No, we can't call her a Jaffa cake because Jaffa cakes aren't biscuits. They're f***ing cakes. Get her out. Sorry, but there was a whole court case. You want to call Angela Rayner a ginger nut? Is that fine? I think that's fine. Is there anyone in the Labour Party with a receding hairline who's called Gary who we could call a baldy? It's not even McVitie's at this stage. This Labour Party rings of deception. No. Prime Minister's been dunked in, he's in hot water, and we think he's crumbling. That's actually quite good. Prime Minister, that was a bit rich. Tea, biscuits.
That crumbling one, I actually thought.
The Prime Minister has left pensioners out in the gold. No, it sounds too positive. We could say that he was very lucky and he's avoided quite a lot of scrutiny. He's a jammy dodger. No, I hate that too, actually. I've given myself the ick there. Send off the ones we've got and Kenny will do that, and that'll be great. Well done, everybody. Great work. It's good to stand up for something, actually, because I really think that Keir Starmer is taking the piss. Biscuit! Oh, how did we miss that one? Oh, crumbs.
Golf is like the main...
They really did miss that one. Really hoofed that one over the bar. This is a clip from a live show in Leeds. I did a preview in Leeds before Edinburgh in the build-up, and I was like, oh, it'd be mostly friends and family, to be honest. That'll be a nice crowd. And it was the heckliest crowd I've ever had.
Main hobby around there. Where my golf dad's at? But, is it a hub? So, family friend in the front row to shout out park run. Which I get, it's another middle class pursuit. It makes sense thematically, but I've got no park run material. So, what's your 5K time, man? What are you talking about?
There's a hard out in this venue, we have to be out by 10:30. Let me tell you, I don't know what's going to happen. People are just shouting out different activities. Tomorrow then! What? 40. We've moved on from sports now. Do you know what? I don't have to continue. We could just pass the microphone around and name different parts of the place we're in. Try to do that? Anyone else? Trish, ready up in? Anyone? Any questions?
Punting.
Punting? Trish, I've been in this game long enough to know you lost them with that. Some people went, what was Ponty short for? And other people went, fuck Pontifract. That's what happened there.
So it's sort of not really a video I made this year, but it is a video I made this year because I filmed myself live, didn't I? That was a live clip. Trish was very funny. I jokingly said that she was a Reform voter, and then some people afterwards were like, "Are you really a Reform voter?" Sorry, Trish, I didn't mean to defame you. This video is a recent one, 9th of December. It's one of the last few, one of the last two, maybe it's the last one. I don't know. I can't count. This is when Lee Anderson, someone tweeted, these are the things that women have to deal with. The tweet is on the video, and what men have to deal with. He said, try the Battle of the Somme. Now, I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows how to work engagement baiting Twitter shit. And that's why I didn't quote tweet him. Never quote tweet these people, but you can screenshot him. I made this video. It went pretty well. It was one of my better performed videos. I think it's funny. Hi, Anya, co-host of my podcast. Well, sorry, producer of my podcast. Anya is here from Legitimate Likes. So you should go listen to Legitimate Likes because she's very funny. But don't tell her I said that because we have to be antagonistic to the producers because it's a podcast. Oh, thanks, Bex. I'm assuming you said that Bex has said that was one of her favourite videos. I assume you're talking about the mid-80s one. Biscuit puns, they're just...
Hi mate, I can't come into work today. It
Battle
is
of the
that
Somme,
time
that's cool.
of the century. Yeah, the Battle of the Somme. I'm actually living with a bunch of lads and our Battle of the Somme has synced up. All of ours happening at the same time, 1916. They do all of this research into women's health and I'm yet to see a single documentary or book about the First World War. There's no Battle of the Sommernity leave. I have to go into work despite how many Battle of the Sommes I've done, which is 0. But my wife, who's pregnant, sure she has to grow an entire human just using her body and I'm expecting her to provide free domestic labour for the next 18 to 25 years. But has she ever experienced the bloodiest day in British Army history with 57,470 casualties? I don't think she has. And neither have I, obviously. I'll say to these women who are middle class and of a certain age, don't talk to me about the menopause until you've asked me about Passchendaele. I would have bloody killed for a glass ceiling.
Let me tell you, the fact I've finally been able to talk about Passchendaele, that's a long time coming because Mr. Pierce taught me about that in school. And Passchendaele is bad.
At the Somme would have kept the rain off. The rain and the mud was a big issue, I don't mind telling you. Menopause, what about men at wars? There weren't even any women at the Somme, apart from the women who were at the Somme, and it occurs to me now that they could have been pregnant or on their periods and at the Somme, but I don't think that counts. I have never ever seen a statue or memorial for the Somme, and yet every city I go to has a giant statue of the uterus shedding its lining. Battle of the Somme, very painful. Periods, not painful at all. I imagine. I've never asked a woman. I may not have been there in 1916, but I have recently joined Reform UK. So in a way, I am still committing my life to something dangerous and horrifying that serves the elite at the cost of the poor and is both sad and damaging for the country. But hey, at least there aren't many women in it. Men!
Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow.
That's it, man. Get it. To go. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. Oh, he's accidentally pressed play again. Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks for watching. That is the end of the live stream. I really appreciate you coming in. If you've got any comments and questions before we leave, please chuck them in. But if not, go away, I suppose. It's yeah. And if the live streaming is something that is fun and useful, I'll do it more. Never really done it. I don't really know how it works, and I'm annoyed that the aspect ratio for Instagram is different to YouTube. But my followers on Instagram, YouTube, where do you put it all? I'm going to obviously continue making videos. It's funny doing the videos and stuff. People, I'm the sort of level of well known on the internet enough for people to tell me to not stop. people love saying, keep going. Well done, you keep on going. And I was like, I was going to. But it's very nice. It's just people being supportive. So shut up, Will. Stop being such a Grinch. Laura and Alicia, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for joining. Bex, thank you very much for watching and joining, who's been here. Bex is, I'd probably say, Bex, that you're my biggest fan. One of my subscribers. If you want to subscribe to me on Instagram, you can. You pay a little bit per month for bonus content. And I will be trying to provide some more BoneCon, which is the official term, later in the year. If you want to listen to Legitimate Likes, it's a podcast that I co-host with my friends. And yeah, thanks very much, Mark. Thanks for saying hi. And hopefully see you. I will be doing some live stuff in the new year for sure. I'll keep you posted. And thanks very much, Bex, for watching. Have a happy Christmas. Well, I hope you had a great Christmas, and happy New Year, everybody. This is the end. It's time to go. It's good night. Go Bears. You joined at the wrong time. This is the end. It was excellent. Don't look back and check whether it was good or not. Just accept that I've said it was good. Goodbye. Love you all. See you next time. I'm stalling so I can find the end stream button. Found it.